I don't think based on your letter, because I did read the letter, that's not the response that you wanted. So what do you want to see from DHS Secretary Noem now?
Well, what I want to see, this is part of the fight that we're having here over the DHS's budget, right? One of the three major one of the three major buckets of things that Democrats want is independent investigations. And so we're not going to vote for a budget for DHS unless independent investigations are part of that. We cannot have organizations like ICE investigating itself. And if the secretary is not going to acknowledge OIG independence, then we're going to make sure that we force it on them.
How would you force it, OIG independence on them? What would that really look like?
Well, that would be part of what we're demanding as part of the negotiations over the DHS budget, right? I've had several proposals, for example, for independent investigation, so that's more than just one agency, so that ICE is not just inspecting itself, that you can bring in the FBI, you can bring in other agencies, that there are joint investigations of officer-involved violence, especially when it comes to shootings, especially when you're dealing with the shocking brutality and dangerous violence that we've witnessed in Illinois and in Minneapolis. And so that it's not just one agency that's investigating itself, but that is part of the negotiations that we're in right now, engaging in right now over the DHS budget.
You know, I'm hearing what you're saying about this meeting you have with the DHS IG. It seems like, based on your characterization, he's squirming when you ask essentially, has any investigation been compromised? What does that look like? I mean, if he's squirming, can't even answer your question there, do you think he needs to be out then?
Well, but then they would just put somebody else in that's exactly like this person, right? Because the people that stood up to Donald Trump are gone. And he's illegally fired many of them, and put into place folks who are not going to be independent, who are going to bow down to Secretary Noem when she says, "Hey, you need to kill this investigation." So I don't know that getting rid of him and replacing him with somebody who's equally spineless going to do it. The problem that we have right now is that my Republican colleagues need to stand up and agree that these what most Americans want, which is transparency and independent investigations.
Before we get to those DHS negotiations and what you want to see when it comes to reforms there, I do want to read a statement from DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. This is what she said to NBC. Senator Duckworth is arguing that a Senate-confirmed cabinet secretary shouldn't use an existing section of federal law because she doesn't think it should exist. She also added this: if Senator Duckworth and her fellow Democrats do not like the law that Congress already passed, they, as members of Congress, have full constitutional authority under Article 1 to change the law and assuage their concerns. What do you make of her response there?
Well, that's what these negotiations are over, right? We're going to force that to happen as part of the appropriations process, that they will have to have independent investigations. The fact that they're bold-faced saying that we are going to interfere with the independence of offices of inspector generals just shows you how corrupt this administration and the secretary's office at DHS is.